Turn me up a little bit. Try to make it right. Pull up, I ain't spend the night. Turn that spark into a flame. Turn that flame into a light. Bring it back into the light. Rekindle the flame. I miss when you whispered my name. We've gotten too old for the games, but it's okay, cause I don't plan on playing. Your ensemble look painted. Pull it up, blow the dust off the ancient. But don't let that time pass fool you. You still get this work like a day shift. Was it really worth it though? Walking away from something you needed, something that ain't help you breathe, but made those breaths worth breathing. Couldn't believe it. Felt so deceived. Saw you post a photo when it wasn't you and me. It was you and he. I was like, who was he? You were like, truthfully, somebody better. It cut deep. You couldn't see it though. All you heard was fucking whatever. It's whatever. I was on to something I was meant for, that meant more. Who was I to tell you stop moving so you could sit more? Had your own life, whole bucket list to check up. Meanwhile, it's me against the world. I'm yelling check up. Met a lot of women, a couple came with a setup. You never left my mind for a second. You never came second. Really hate I made you feel neglected, but the shit I had to do, I don't regret it. No. It's no secret. Last time when left, let me try to make it right. Pull up on you, spend the night. Turn that spark into a flame. Turn that flame into a light. Bring it back into the light. It's no secret. Last time when left, let me try to make it right. Pull up on you, spend the night. Turn that spark into a flame. Turn that flame into a light. Bring it back to life, cause I miss your curls, including your smile. You had what I needed, I just ain't had time. I had to grind, I had to climb. Had to secure what I want, now it's mine. Still on go, till I'm next to line. But that shit different, I know I don't miss it. For real though, I need that rock by my side. I need that Bonnie and Clyde. On those nights when that road empty, tell me you down for the ride. Shifted and drive, pass me the flame. Spark up with me, sparking up, then we vibe. You had your cake, you could eat it too, but you came right back to the pie. Night you ain't hit me up, checking up, I was content with my shit being dry. Let you go, I really tried. Let you go, I really tried. Took you right out of my mind, and you met me right back inside. I'm rolling dime after dime, blowing right through a 3-5. Just to pass out and you right in my dreams, looking me right in my eye. Now we know it's no secret. Last time when left, let me try to make it right. Pull up on you, spend the night. Turn that spark into a flame. Turn that flame into a light. Bring it back into the light. It's no secret. Last time when left, let me try to make it right. Pull up on you, spend the night. Turn that spark into a flame. Turn that flame into a light. Bring it back into the light. So I need you.
Hello?
What's the deal, bro? So it's the Proof in the Pudding show, and I'm sitting here live with the one and only Richie Nelson, bro. How you feeling today, fam?
One and only. Feeling real good. Chilling. Just chilling right now.
That's a fact right there, yo. I'm excited to have you on the show. Yo, that song right there, yo, that made a lot of noise right there. That No Secret right there. I ain't gonna front. I seen you perform that one time. And I was like, yo, who is this guy? And it was like the next thing you know, bro, you was everywhere. So how was that like, bro? How, with the reception that you got from this song, what inspired you to make No Secret, bro?
Man, it was just a long, different experiences with different females. I can't say it was about one specific female. It's just, when you look back through it all, like it just kind of just culminated to like just one type of situation. And it was just like, the music was before everything. So that's just kind of what it came down to, like had to go get it type shit. Y'all can hear me all right? You good? All right, just making sure. But yeah, it was just that's real.
A fact right there.
Yeah.
Yo, it's dope. Yo, the concept, the song, all of that was dope. So, yo, for the people that's out there watching you, Right. So for the people that's home watching out there that don't know who Richie Nelson is, where were you originally from, bro?
Oh, real small town called Yanceyville, North Carolina, out there in Caswell County. Shout out to anybody that's tuning in right now from out there. But just a real small town, and I came to Raleigh, went to Shaw University for a bit, and just decided to stay out here into the city, and that's where I really kind of, I was always doing the music. You know, what I'm saying growing up, growing up, singing in the choir and whatnot, and it's just all of that just kind of led into me just getting to the music as a whole, and just kind of just got into the community, and it just everything just took from there.
That's a fact right there. That's a fact. So you singing in the choir. About what age did you first start doing music, and did you start rapping first, or did you start singing, or how did that come about?
The choir came. I would say the choir came when I was like 5, and I was in there for a while. I would say we didn't start rapping until about I would joke around, do like little play raps around it's like 12 or 13, but I didn't really start writing stuff down and record, and I said till about oh man, is he? Hope you all right. You still there? Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see.
Oh,
We getting a
okay.
little
Yeah,
freeze here
lost
and
you for
there,
a
but I
second.
can hear you, and yeah, it come and go. But yeah, definitely the people out there
Oh yeah.
they probably not affected by it because they got a little delay on
Okay, okay,
there.
okay.
So yeah, so if it happens
All
like
right.
that, just keep going. Yeah,
Okay, okay, yeah, bet. So yeah, what I was saying is, yeah, I started in the choir around like 5, and then it just kind of just took off from there. I didn't really start like writing stuff down and recording until I was about, I would say like 16. Got up with a couple folk from the football team, and we just made like a little mixtape, and it kind of just kept building from there. I wouldn't say it was like the best stuff in the world, but it was just like it was definitely like room to grow, and that's just where I came from. Like it was just kept just building upon that and just adding to it, and then kind of just putting my own style. You gotta kind of like have your own type of signature about things. Like I think that's what
definitely.
took the most time to do. Like try to see how can I put my own spin on like certain things or like my own kind of flow and type of style.
I feel you on that, yo. So speaking of flow and style, what artists inspired Richie Nelson?
Oh, a lot of. I mean, first and foremost, like what I'm saying, I've been listening to Wayne for like forever, and it's just between that and between I would say of course like people Drake's an inspiring artist, you know what I'm saying? And then it was just like it was like the Nickies, like it was just like that whole like time period. That's when I was like really developing my craft. So it was just like to hear them the way they would like bend words and break down words, like it was just what I'm saying, like real inspiring. And it's like you could take it all the way back with, something like Wu Tang and everything, like just a lot of different things. But when I grew up, like growing up, I was listening to like a lot of R&B when people were listening to like the Jay-Z and all like the old school hip hop. Like that's when I was listening to like the old like the Jagged Edge, the 8701s, the
Oh
Confessions, and
yeah,
like I kind of like that's where I say I kind of like got my sound from. It's just like you're like what I'm saying. I'll definitely like rap no doubt, but it's just like it's always got to be this type of like melody or type of vibe to like what I'm doing. Like that's just how I'm bringing it.
nah, I feel you on that, yo. So speaking of the melody and the vibe, yo, if it was five of those artists on your list, or the people that you grew up with, that you can do a song with, or collab with, or even open a show, which five people would that be?
Um, like the very top, like if I ever had the opportunity to like open for like Wayne, like yeah, I'd probably drop everything. Like, I mean, I'd probably drop everything for each one of those artists because that would be a big opportunity. But if like they all five had hit me up about like the same time, the same date, then it's like, yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, I'm gonna see about that Wayne show. Like, even though like the other artists might be a bigger opportunity depending on like where they are, like in the industry, like I'd still, what I'm saying, go see that Wayne, like, what I'm saying, go see about that Wayne show just because that's where it all started, like the whole like even the way I like think about like how to break down words and metaphors.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And Wayne, he's definitely a legend. And I remember like for a year, you couldn't turn on nothing without seeing Wayne. Wayne was on everything. He dropped mad projects.
Everything.
Yo.
Probably
So
that '08 year, like that's when we're everything, like him, T-Pain, like that entire year was just crazy. Like
yo, and that's the grind, bro. And I seen, like I said, when that No Secret came out, it was the same thing. It was like, bro, you hit, and it was like everywhere I turned, every show I went to, Richie Nelson was on. So it was like, how was that response? How did that feel coming into the game and people accepting you? How was that like? Tell me about that experience.
honestly, I didn't even think the song was gonna like they were gonna be as receptive to the song as they were. I had actually did a show where I hadn't even recorded the song yet. I was just gonna try it out. Like I had, had got the beat and everything and all that situated. So I was just going, I was just doing it at a show, and it was just crazy how I was doing it a cappella, and people were like was still like tuned in. And it was like that next week I took it to the studio, and like my homeboy shout out D Dow Delmar, like I recorded, and like we just did like a little run through, and he was just like, yo, bro, that's the one. And I was just like, I mean, yeah, straight. I don't know. Like I was like just writing it, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just another song to me. I wouldn't say like, it's like it's a real legit song, but it was just like I felt real strong about it, but I just didn't think like people were gonna take to it like the way they took to it. Like I've had people like walk up to me like, "Hey, bro, like I played this song for my shawty, man. I had to, you know what I'm saying? I had to tell her how I felt. You told her for me time." And I'm just like, I didn't even know I could do all that. Like it was just, it was definitely crazy.
Yo, that's real. Yo, that's the thing about being an artist is like, yo, you can paint a picture, and it's like sometimes when you can't come up with the words, music speak. So I definitely feel them on that. Sometimes it's like you may get into it with your girl, like, yo, you just put the music on and let the music speak. So, bro, the pain and the picture that you painted, you definitely did your thing on that. So tell me about your writing process. When you're coming up with a record, you got a beat. How do you pick your beats? First of all, let's start there. What type of sound beats do you go for, and how do you pick your beats?
I kind of let the beats talk to me. Like a lot of times, like and the same thing with words. Like I never really try to like whenever I'm like in that writing process, I never really try to like force anything because when you force something, like like to me, you'll end up like writing something that you'll probably just end up wanting to change later. Like to me,
Right.
it's just kind of it's just a flow. Like whatever like beat I'm listening to, like if it's just if I can hear something from it right away, then like I'll build on it. And then sometimes like I'll hear something right away, try to build on it, and then it's not where in the direction where I'm going, and then I'll just scrap it and go on to the next beat. It's just like I just try to make sure that like I'm confident about it, like from start to finish. Like from the moment I hear the beat, I know it's something that I can work with all the way to the very end. And even with like with different words, like sometimes I'll try different words out when I'm writing. It's just if it might be a good bar, but it's just like I feel like either it's predictable, like somebody else could have come up with it, or like it's just not strong enough. So I'll scrap that bar and go for like another bar and just what I'm saying, continue to build until it's a verse, it's a song, it's a hook that it's something I can stand behind and like put out there like confidently.
Yeah, that's a fact right there, the brand, bro. And it's like, yo, like you said, it's like it starts just building the blocks and then it all comes together naturally, organically. So, yo, with that being said, so tell me, all right, you got a studio session. I'm in the head of Richie Nelson. How do you get in your zone to create the music that you create?
Oh man, studio is almost like a I treat the studio more so like a performance. By the time I'm at the studio, I've pretty much had that verse down packed. Like I'm at the point now. I'm not even looking like at the phone at what I wrote down because it's just like time is money, and it's just like you don't want to be in the studio just wasting time trying to figure out what could be said on the record when you could have spent that time at home writing a record like you were supposed to do. So it's just like whenever I'm in the studio, it's more so like, okay, this is the game plan. Let's get through it within this amount of time. And it's just, what I be trying like what I make sure I get focused about is like my delivery. Like I'll make sure like I say it in like a believable or like a convincing type of way. But as far as like the words, like all of that is pretty much scaled out. And it's just when I'm in the studio, it's more so about like, okay, we got this plan. Let's get through it.
Right. At this point, that's the difference between a hobby and a profession. So at this point, yo, you a professional with it, and you're doing your thing. So it's like you said, time is money. So tell me, like, what studio experiences were some of your best, and what engineers have you worked with in the area since you started your career?
I mean, I haven't really had any bad studio experiences as far as like, shout out to well, big shout out to Ty Harris. You know what I'm saying? We worked on most of that Pain versus Guard that's coming out pretty soon. Like that entire process was incredible. Just different artists. Shout out to Chris out there at man, I'm too up right now. I can't even think of the records. But everybody that have worked with me, like, definitely track star Rich. Like I was gonna name one, but whoever I've worked with and they know they've worked with me, like it was never a bad experience. It's always been professional, and that's where I got adopted like that style. Like I can't just be in here wasting their time because it's what I'm saying, they have made a point to be professional about it, and that's why I got to make sure that I at least do my part efficiently. So it's just if anything, the studio experience here has made me up my game and just be a better artist for that studio. You know.
I definitely feel you on that. And you say you're from Yanceyville, that's North Carolina. Tell me what it's like in Yanceyville. What was that like out there back home?
Oh, I mean, just the real country experience. Like, it's just the city itself might have a third stoplight now. I don't know. I haven't been out there in a bit. Uh, just real quiet. Just those small towns. Everybody that's in a small town know what the vibe is like. It's just where everybody know everybody. Everybody connected in some kind of way. You got this one store, this one gas station that everybody might prefer. It's just you know the vibe is just, I wouldn't even say different than what it is out in the city, because it's just in the city you got different kind of communities within the city, but when you're from a small town, it's just that community. It might be segregated within the community, and I wouldn't even say segregated, but you got like different groups, different cliques, but it's just like everybody's connected in some kind of way. You coming from that small town.
That's a fact. So how's your hometown? How's the following and the support coming to see you doing your thing from that town? Are they behind you? Is it, tell me about that.
Oh, it's great. I mean, they were definitely honest when I was starting out. Like when I was coming up, like it was never more so about like kind of just, oh, that's straight, like keep doing what you're doing. Like they'd be like, hey man, like that's just straight, but this other shit you got even straighter. If you can keep going like this, because that other shit, I mean, and then that other shit you got right here is kind of trash, but I wouldn't even worry about that. Like, what I'm saying, like they always kept it honest, just like all the other artists out there. What I'm saying, shout out to J2, shout out to Smee. Is like, what I'm saying, like it's definitely growing out there, because they were the ones that inspired me to go with it, because it's just, I seen them out there at the talent shows at the high school when we was coming up, and it just that kick started me to like start recording when I was 16. So it's just the following is definitely great. It's definitely whenever it's all love when we go out there. Like whenever we out there and like we see each other, like everybody kind of got the same mindset in mind, just to what I'm saying, keep pushing and keep grinding.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope right there. So at 16 to now, tell me about Richie Nelson at 16 compared to the artist that you become, and how did you get there?
It was just a whole process of developing the craft and learning the business. Uh, and it was all the hard way. Like, I mean, I didn't really get like people to kind of like model after and look up to until like later on, like maybe as of maybe 4 to 5 years ago, from
Right.
seeing like the way like OC would do his thing, the way he moved, and like, what I'm saying, I would go out to shows where he was in Greensboro, and see like, like Eddie Ruger would do his thing, and then I would see Samson, and that kind of connected me back to Raleigh. It was just, but all up until then, it was just kind of just trial and error, like trying to see how this worked, even all the way like to the studio. Like it was just definitely like, I wouldn't even say the blind leading the blind, but it was just kind of just feeling our way along. Like there was never like no one to like guide me through. And that's something like I wish I would have just kind of like an apprenticeship, like somebody that kind of would have showed me the rings. Like that's something I
Right.
would have appreciated growing up. But it was just, I still kind of, got along with it. But it was just, that's what it was like. Just trying to just trial and error, just trying to see what worked and what didn't work as far as like sound and business and all of that.
Definitely, definitely. How important for artists that's watching the podcast or may see it later, explain it and break down, because I keep hearing you say business. I try to tell a lot of artists is like music that's the first part, but without the business is a whole nother ball game. So you got to have the business, yo. So break down to the people that may be watching, what what lessons have you learned from the business, and what things do you apply that put you in a different lane now, where it's like one of the things that you wish you would have known back then and implemented that you're implementing now as far as the business is concerned.
Uh, well, early on, like I just really wasn't working with like local producers. I was just trying to snatch up like any free beat I could, thinking like that was gonna be the way. When it was just like that's just not how the business works. Like you can't. I mean, you could get far. Like you get a little following on like on SoundCloud, but it's just like you don't really get any real revenue on something that was free that you took from. So it's just you got to spend money to make money. You got to invest. Like you got to, what I'm saying, invest in the production, invest in the studio, invest in promotion. It's just like that's just what I've learned from it. Like you got to make sure like you're willing to invest in this, and also make sure that you're understanding like what's current out there. Like that's another business side of thing. Like try to understand like what kind of sound is trending and how you can put your spin on it. You know what I'm saying? Or if you got a whole different sound, then you can try that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Right.
just all about, because the masses is what, I'm saying, the audience is what's going, I'm saying, make or break you. So it's just like if you're not, I'm saying, keeping your artistry in a balance of appealing to the audience, then it's just like what are you doing? Like what type of product do you have? Like what can you supply? Like
Right.
are you supplying what they demanding, basically?
No,
And
that
it's
makes
just,
sense.
and then also making sure like, what I'm saying, whatever you put out there, like the paperwork is right as far as like the publishing, and making sure that like, what I'm saying, you're registered on either BMI, ASCAP, so you can, what I'm saying, make some revenue even off of the shows you do. It's just, little things like that that I've learned along the way. And I still got a lot of, what I'm saying, other things to learn as far as like, different like, just different little things, like maybe like song structure, or how like, what I'm saying, maybe I should timing as far as like dropping something. you know it's just still learning as I go.
No, I feel you on that, but it's making progress. So you're taking steps in the right direction. Like I said, I've been watching you for a while. I'm like one of those artists of the game. So it's like I study, I study, I study, and I've been seeing you for a while, and you've been doing your thing, and I see the growth, I see your elevation. So I salute you on that. So
Appreciate
tell me,
that.
what's the best part of your process? Is it the writing part, the performance part, the studio part? What's the favorite part for Richie Nelson?
It's the writing, like the pulling something out of thin air, like because I mean I'm not really a people person. Like I can like I fuck with people, but at the same time it's just like people is just, I don't know if that makes sense. So it's
Right.
just like it's the creativity for me, the time where I could like actually like be an artist, like create, and then I'm with all the business stuff, but to me that's business, that's work. Like you even see me
Right.
at a show, like I might not drink so much before I go on stage, because it's like to me like I'm at work. I still got a service to provide because people like my song and they want to hear the song live. But it's just, to me, like my favorite part where I can just really kind of get into myself would be like that writing part, to like seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work. Like, and anybody, any artist is tuning in. Like, whenever like you come up with like that one bar, and it's just like you got to stop everything. It's just like, oof, like those are the moments like I live for. Like, that's my type of thing.
I feel you on that. And you just said a key thing: professionalism at the shows. I see a lot of cats. They go to these shows and they turning up and they get wasted. So by the time they hit the stage, it's a sloppy performance. So you just said a key
Mm,
thing. It's like you can turn up after to get the
right.
work done. And even in the studio, sometimes they may come in and they got the entourage and it turns into a party and no work get done. So
And
yo,
see,
that's a powerful
I
thing
don't
you
learn
said.
those lessons. I don't learn those lessons the hard way too. Like early on, like I was one of them like that would come in the studio with a couple folk, like while the beat on, like yeah, we rolling, we drinking, but it's just like by the time it comes to you know what I'm saying, record your spot, like it's just it sounds sloppy. It don't sound as tight as it could have had you just been in there chilling, like you said. But dealing with those studios, you learn to just up your game and know like you know what's appropriate at what time, like how appropriate, like how much can you do and still be appropriate or still effectively do your job.
Now that's a fact right there, and I think it's a misconception because sometimes we see these major artists and they're in the studios for months, and they're in there chilling out, and we see the documentaries. And as an indie artist, we want to live that life. So coming in the game, the thing that we don't realize is that the studio is being paid for by the business. The company is paying for it, that they're going to recoup back later. So it's like the company don't care if they waste 4 months in the studio and they only get 5 records. But the difference is being an indie artist, that money's coming out of our budget, our pocket. So you understand what I'm saying?
Right, definitely. And it's just when we see him in the studio, like that's another thing. When we see him in there turning up, we hear the song in the background. So no matter what we see, they got the song done. So like
The
at
work
some
is done.
point they was professional enough to get through it. So we, you know, what I'm saying you shouldn't really like look at them like, oh, I can go to the studio and turn up and still get the song done. Like you don't know what you can do if you turn up so much. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you done had to get drugged to the car on your birthday because you was all you know what I'm saying off that Patron too much. So it's just like don't think you can go in the studio and drink that same amount and do a verse when you couldn't even walk to the car, you know, type shit. Like just like bro, just it's just wasting money because it's like you ain't gonna do nothing but like put out a sloppy song but go back to the studio and re-record it.
Have to re-record it all over again. So as far as doing shows, what are some of the places that you perform, and what were some of your most memorable performances?
Most memorable performances. I would say at the very top of the list where I got an opportunity to do a song at the state fair. You know, part of the Infinite Family set. That was real big for me because he's like you know it's the state fair, like the state North Carolina,
Right.
like the entire state, like the fair. So it's like that was definitely at the top of the list. But you know definitely all the Carolina Waves performances, like especially when I was out there like pushing No Secret hard, like those were all memorable shows. Like definitely a great character. Shout out to Traumatic, Too Real, Rare Jones, all of those people that was out there, like, you know, saying grinding when we was like, you know, a couple years back. Like that was definitely like fun times. Like and even the new people on the scene now. I wouldn't even say new people, but it's just like even the ones that have been around, like, you know what I'm saying, Exhale, Davon, I See the Boss, like definitely Ari Quinn, like all like you know what I'm saying, like it's just the camaraderie. You know what I'm saying? How MJ said it when he was talking about the dream team, like just that camaraderie. Like
Yes.
it's definitely like in there, and it's like you make you feel at home, make you feel like what you're doing is like important, and it is. But it's just like, a lot of times people be doing important stuff and it don't feel important to them, and it's just like sometimes you really need to be reminded, like, yo, you really doing something special that not a lot of people can do. So stick with it. And it's
Right.
just like when you in that when you in that element and when you in that type of like scenario and you are kind of like in a reaffirming situation, it's like that just gives you the ability to push even further.
That's a fact right there. And you just said a powerful thing. I remember back when we were touring and doing a lot of shows with a lot of people from NC. One thing that stood out, it wasn't like a competition, but it was like you get better around the better people you're around, it makes you better. Do you agree or you disagree? Or like I know you just dropped a few names that's doing their thing from the Carolina Waves and stuff like that. And Infinite Family, we're going to jump into that in a second. But what I was saying, the names that you were naming when you were on this Carolina Waves circuit, when y'all were doing y'all shows, a lot of them, they all progressed too. Do you think y'all all pulled from each other? Because it becomes like a team, like you said, the dream team. It's like you wanna shine, but not outshine them, but it's like your performance is like you shooting in the gym with LeBron James every day. So the next year you come back, you're gonna be better. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree, and I don't even see it as like competing. I just really see it's just like inspiring each other. Like, oh man, check you out up there. Like that's so lit. Like, let me do this because it's just like you know, like it's just the energy that's in the air. It's just like why not? Like everybody else is prospering. Who am I not to prosper myself? As
Right,
opposed to like, they getting it. Why can't I get it? Like if they gonna get it, like because that's just hating. That's negative. Like it's
right.
just it's like definitely glass half full everywhere you go within like the Ways community, everywhere in the Infinite Family. Like it's just like to push each other like forward, and we like we're not even pushing each other like intently, like we pushing each other with the way we carry ourselves, like you know what I'm saying. We
Right.
are walking inspirations. Everybody are walking inspiration,
Oh
right?
yeah,
And it's just
definitely.
like that's just what keeps us going forward. Everybody is just continuing to be inspired. Everybody is learning from each other. Like, okay, oh, they doing it that type of way. That's a good idea. Let me try that with mine and see how that works. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just
Right.
building off one another, just trying to be
Right.
the best artist, the best brand, the best product they can be.
Right. And that is like everybody's working together, so they're pulling the best out of each other. So shout out to the Infinite family. Freedom Infinite is definitely a good
Big
friend of
shots, big
mine.
shots,
Oh
big
yeah,
shots.
oh yeah. I known Freedom for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So yo, tell me, how did y'all hook up? Infinite
Man,
family. Shout out to all. It's a lot of y'all, but salute to the whole Infinite family.
yes,
Infinite.
sir.
Yo,
Infinite, go
tell me,
ahead.
how did that happen? And yo, tell me about that experience, and tell me what things have you learned from the Infinite family. Like you said, now you have a whole lot of hands shaping each other. Not so much to say making each other, but you're pulling the best out of each other. Tell me what's that
Exactly.
support like. Tell me what that is. What's that like?
That support is incredible, and it's just not even just with the Infinite family, but it's just like everybody that's out there. Like I wouldn't even say clicked up, but it's just like everybody that's within a group of people
Right,
they're familiar and comfortable with. Like you know what I'm saying. There's Crown. There's you know what I'm saying. Definitely Infinite, and there's I cannot think Crossbones.
right,
Well, I'm up there, but it's just like you know what I'm saying. Those groups, like I definitely fuck with that camaraderie because it's just like you know what I'm saying. Everybody, like you said, everybody is just shaping each other, taking the best from each other, and just building to be better. And like that, like you said, it's like it's just real inspiring to see people beside you move and grinding just as hard. And you know what I'm saying.
right,
It's just like why would I stop? They not stopping. You know. It's just
right.
like it like makes you feel like I gotta pull my weight around because they pulling their weight around. Like you know, like
Definitely,
I gotta get right.
definitely, definitely. So with the state of hip hop and NC in the world, what's your take on it? Do you think it's turning for the better, or turning from the good? What's your take on that?
I think it's all subjective to be honest,
Right,
because it's always gonna be people playing. It's always gonna be people playing the same roles. I believe it's constant. You know, there's gonna
right,
be the new innovative sound. There's gonna be the people that are drawn to the new innovative sound. There's gonna be people that are like that are adaptive to whatever sound comes out, and there's gonna be people that stuck with maybe the previous sound or maybe a couple sounds before this sound that are gonna kind of just look at maybe the new innovative sound, and it's just they may not like it, and it's just and that's okay because not everything is for everybody, and that just proves
right,
how universal hip hop is getting when there are things that may not be your cup of tea, but it's all within the same umbrella. You know, because you got some, you know, maybe some top 40 people that like the top 40 hits. Maybe they don't like some of the hardcore rock hits or like you know that heavy
right,
metal because it's just like you know it's all under the same umbrella, but it's just like it's different genres, and I think hip hop is starting to turn into that type of circus tent, I guess. It's just
right,
different type of attractions, different type of talents, different type of acts, all under this tent. And it's just you don't have to
right.
fuck with everything, but it's just like you can still fuck with it. And I think that's I think it's becoming more diverse, but I feel like it's always gonna be people that don't understand change or don't understand like how things can build and how things can be innovative. And that's okay because, you know, as long as the people who are meant to understand, everything
Right.
is gonna move forward.
That's a fact right there. You just said a mouthful right there. So let's get into the mind of Richie Nelson. Describe your sound for me and tell the people that's watching who is Richie Nelson.
Richie Nelson is I don't know, he's a quietly full of himself type of person. Like he knows his worth, but he's not gonna really show you the price tag all the time type of
Right.
situation. Uh you know what I'm saying? He's had his highs, he's had his lows, and he talks about it all within his music. Like you could get any type of sound, type of situation. It just all depends on what comes to him. He's not gonna force anything. He's
Right.
gonna move on his own pace. That's just how he is. I don't know. He's also bad at describing himself. I don't.
I feel you. It's all good.
Mm. But all in all, Richie Nelson is definitely like a vibe that the common person can relate to, because everybody gets their heart broken. Everybody feels like they on top of the world, and everybody feels like the world is on top of them some days. So it's just that's who I am. You know, the
That's
person
dope.
that has seen both sides of the coin.
Right. And then what I'm hearing is you're genuine, authentic.
Yeah.
Just take me as I
Uh.
am. This is who I am. I'm not trying to be something I'm not. And it's real. And I think a lot of people can connect to that, because it's like a lot of times we wear these facades. It's like you said, you're not afraid to show your vulnerabilities, but you know who you are. It's not like you're a victim, you're a victor. So it's like to put
Mm,
that in your music. That's dope. That's real dope.
yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, I'm not really with the facade. Like, I was just talking to a couple music friends, and they were saying like we had this show a while back, and Buddy was like, I guess like one of the acts on that was going on with us. I ain't gonna name no names because I don't know if they embarrassed by this, but they
Right.
were just kind of like just looking at their mirror, like looking at themselves in the mirror with like their shades on, kind of like looking like a linebacker before they go on stage, and it's just like
Right.
I don't know. That's never been me. Like I never felt like I had to get into like a certain character. If anything, like the character is who I am going about in like real life. Um, I think I don't know. I think like that second Kill Bill, he kind of explained it with like Clark Kent and Superman, like how Clark Kent would like that was the costume, and
Right.
Superman was like his real self. I feel like when I'm on that stage, or like when I'm in the studio when I'm writing, that's my real self, and like that's the self that I got to pack up and kind of just and close up and go about like regular life, like and hold all that shit in, like what I'm saying, like take shit to the chin, and like when I'm in this, like when the music comes, like when I get to hear that beat from the top, that's when I get to let loose. I don't
That
know.
makes
Like
sense.
maybe I don't know. Like maybe when I'm not with the music, that's the facade, and this is the chance to be as real as I can be. That's how I see it.
That makes sense. So let me ask you, yo, when we do our songs and we create songs, they all mean something. Give me the two songs that you made that mean the most to Richie Nelson.
The two songs that I made that mean the most. There's a song called "Strictly for the Home" that's on the Reminisce tape that's on all platforms. That one meant a lot to me because it was just I really had a really gave me a chance to like reflect and really think about like all like the hometown and like all the people back home and everything like I like lost and even gained all the way up until here. Like it's just different things. Like it kind of just sends me like on a trip down memory lane. Like and it just like that was definitely a song that meant the most to me. And I would say Pain. That's on the Pain tape on all platforms. Like that song is definitely like everything you hear in that song like was something that like going through my mind or like having to like go through in life, and it's just like those are the two songs. It's like they always stir up feelings whenever I listen to them. Like, and it's just like to hear people like resonate with those type of songs. Like that means a lot to me because it tells me I can be my real self and people can connect with that. I don't have to drop like all these type of what I'm saying like side nigga songs or like party twerk songs. You know what I'm saying? I can do that. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
got those songs. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all download Classy. But what I'm saying? Like to hear that I can also be my real self and talk about like stuff that I've gone through in a sincere tone. Like that's something I appreciate. So yeah, those were the
That,
two songs that mean the most.
that's dope right there. So how many projects have you done so far?
I mean officially. So there's uh uh uh. uh So I would say like on all platforms, I believe there's four or five. I don't know if there's a fifth one. If there's not a fifth one, then there's a fifth one coming. But
Okay.
then there's Empty Nights on 440. That's uh, it's four because the fifth one I actually kept that one on SoundCloud. Like I said, there was an unofficial project to Chase. I actually, like I said, that was like more still like more of my developmental sound. That's actually on SoundCloud now. And then there's Empty Nights on 440. That's like I would say that's like my first official project, and that had songs like Unfinished Business, Keys to the City, Ignorant, which I might hear at the shows. Like I definitely do Ignorant a lot. And then after that, that's when I drop Pain. You got Pain, No Secret, Better Safe, um, different types of stuff. And then last year doing, when everything was in the pandemic, I kind of took upon myself to like all those old like songs like I used to drop on the SoundCloud. I kind of just dropped it like in like 2 care packages. One was
Wow.
To Whom It May Concern, and then the second one was Reminisce. So those 4 projects are on all platforms. And like, if you really want, you can always search soundcloud.com/Rich Nelson 2K. And there's a couple of older tracks on there. Y'all want to go back all the way back.
That's dope right there. I see people in the comments, they telling me to play Pain. So I was trying to pull that up right here. So, all right. So we're talking about Pain. We got people in the comments, they requesting to play Pain. We're going to get to that in a minute. You got a new project also coming out as well, right?
Yeah, me and Ty Harris are actually putting the finishing touches on it now. That's gonna be the second Pain installment. I think I'm gonna stop at 3, but this one is gonna be called Pain vs. Gar. All my anime fans out there, what I'm saying, they'll kind of get a kick out of that. But it was definitely an experience. Like, I never done like a joint project before. So it was just, to get a chance to like, work and learn from like another artist as if like y'all are like the same artist at one point. It was definitely an experience. And I recommend it to like anybody like to go out there and like, kind of just put your heads together with like somebody else to see what you can come up with for about like, 10 to 15 songs.
How did y'all come up with, what made y'all decide to do a collab project?
He was actually finishing up a project that he actually has coming. And then it was just, the different songs that we were working with, like we could tell like we had kind of like the same idea, the same direction. It was just like, why not do a whole tape? Like, saying we got this idea for this song, this idea for this song. All we got to do is put verses and words to them, and that's where it came from.
That's dope. That's dope. So what producers did y'all have on this album?
All types of producers. We actually we had a song called what's that song called? No Effort. I actually worked with a UK drill producer. Like I had actually kind of got up with him on Instagram, and it just different local and overseas producers.
That's dope right there. So I done pulled it up. So they've been asking for it. It's like the third person that said play Pain. A couple people have been saying play a joint in the comments. So while I'm pulling this up, go ahead and introduce Pain and tell them what inspired you to make it, who produced it and stuff like that while I'm pulling it up. Let's get to it, Pain.
Hey man, this is the homie Richie Nelson. Guess he about to pull up the song Pain. Y'all been asking for it. 3 whole comments. Like I said, this song just came from all the stuff that I had been through and just culminated into one song. You know what I'm saying? Like, so here y'all go. Shout out to it. Test. Turn up a little bit in the headphones, just a little bit. I need something for the pain, something for pain, something for pain. I need something for the pain, something for pain, something for pain. I need something for the pain. Man, I need something for the pain. Man, look. I got this weight on my shoulders, squat rat shit, but I'm 10 toes planet, man, I cannot slip. The poppin' Addy part, I just stop that shit, but it helped me see what they don't when it's not that clear. I took my loss, lost my shit, made it through the storm and watched a lot of y'all jump ship. I didn't trip, I've been hip, thought y'all would've been flipped. Always keep a cushion of distance, preventing instant academic division. Put a crack in the focus, the ones you keep closest, like respect for the motion. I peeped the notion, cop the wave and coasted, hope that envy shit is drugging. I'm the one that induced you, overdose, clear that room, clear head, and sucking shit dead. At 25 and change, I made a change for the bread. We told the homie tough it out a couple weeks. You out them papers next day. He was dead, tricky, luck in that head, man. Riding down 440, blowing his potent. You lucky it's not a 40, and I'm not completely hopeless. Lucky I take this pain I be feeling and give it focus, cause you was gonna have to feel it regardless. If I'm my heart to be grateful, you should be grateful that I can take all this anger and turn it into a banger. And I'm not spiteful or hateful of taking all of your table. But somebody got an umbrella, cause I need something for this rain. Somebody got some club soda, cause I need something for the stain. Try to keep it under wraps, yeah. It's too heavy on the brain. I called up my doctor, I know it's late, but I need something for the pain. 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 I try to keep it under wraps.
it's too heavy on the brain. I need something for the pain. 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 I'm trying to get going. People come and go, people come and go. It's the ones you want to stay, the ones you want to grow. They cut the deepest, the you the meanest. Switch the quickest, leave you conflicted. I'm still kinda taken back from this one exchange. All truth when we agreed it wouldn't be the same. Cause now I'm looking at you strange. Know we hashed it out, but how long till that change? I heard my mother back in town, she hated we exchanged. It's kinda sort of my fault. I tend to play it off like I'm caught up in this rap shit. Knowing damn well that I can make the time. I won't be satisfied until I'm out of town. See, I moved out of town to keep the distance, which in turn put me in positions not to feel shit until I get a call and get the news that someone's ending. And every time I question my intentions, why I never visit, I take the exit. I'm still reflecting. Is what I'm doing really worth it? Will it be respected? Will the message be rejected? Will it be receptive? Either way, they took the time to hear me out, so I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. That all my bros at the table and no even can able that I've been fighting my demons, my service remains stable. That somebody got an umbrella, cause I need something for this rain. That somebody got some club soda, cause I need something for this stain. Try to keep it under wraps, yeah. But it's too heavy on the brain. I called up my doctor, like I know it's late, but I need something for the pain. 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 I try to keep it under wraps, yeah. But it's too heavy on the brain. I need something for the pain. 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 Something for pain, something for pain. I need something for the pain.
Yeah, that joint right there, bro. That joint right there is a problem right there, brother. You got something with that one. You got something with that one right there. The pain, yo. I'm feeling that one right there, bro. So what inspired you to make that song?
Oh yeah, like I said, that was just just different things happening in different times and kind of just taking a moment to reflect on it all. It was just it all. That's when the pen hit the paper and it just words start writing themselves down at a point.
Yo, bro, you got a style that's dope, bro. It's a unique style and it's dope, bro. I'm not even gonna front. I like that. Most of the songs that I heard from you, I can't front. I do like. I got somebody in the comments saying, talk about your entertainment company. Let's talk about the entertainment company real quick, bro.
Yeah, actually starting up just a small entertainment company, Firstborn Entertainment. That'll be
Firstborn?
Firstborn, named after me because I'm the first of three.
Okay.
Well, four. Um and it's just, still kind of like, that's back to learning more of the business, kind of just, getting an LLC and make sure that, all your revenue is at least, written off or like, submitted through the taxes. Just, still just learning as I go. Just pretty much like that's just the next step within building this brand.
I feel you on that, yo. So with the Firstborn Entertainment, are you going to be bringing in other artists, or is mostly going to be you? Or are you going to be building a team, or what you got going on with that?
It's gonna start as a team, like I'm saying, for me, but it's just like the more we progress, the more we'll bring other artists in. Artists that like, cause I may even take a step back from the scene one of these days, and like that's when I'll just be seeing like who where like was in the same position I was, like that kind of having that for it, but it just kind of just winging it along the way. So it's just kind of just thinking about 10, maybe 12 steps ahead from now, pretty much.
I feel you on that. And that's good to have a plan. And you said 10, 12 steps ahead. You didn't say 1 or 2 steps. You said 10 to 12 steps ahead. Yo, and it
Mm.
shows in your work. It shows by the way you carry yourself. You're real professional, definitely talented. So, yo, tell me about the Todd Harris project. When is that coming out?
We actually don't have a date yet because, like I said, we actually just finished recording everything at the end of last year. So now we're just making sure everything is right as far as like the paperwork wise, and making sure we getting a dope ass cover from the homie Dez, and just making it like it's just of that same caliber that the first paint was, and we just wanted to make sure like it's we can't say perfect. I hate saying perfect because nothing's perfect, but it's just like as close to perfect as we can possibly get. Like we don't want to take any shortcuts with this because it's just like we got some pretty big records on there, and it's just like it's definitely gonna be a vibe that everybody enjoys.
I feel you on that. Somebody in the comments said dope artwork. So that's the guy you was just talking about, Des?
No, I'm not sure who was saying, but shout out to the homie for commenting on the artwork. But yeah, the like the Pain Project, Empty Nights from 440, like even No Secret. That artwork is by the homie Des Man X. You can find him on IG. You can actually find him on the book as well. But it's just actually getting up with him, like he kind of well, I was like what I learned from him is just whenever you collab with an artist, and it was just not even a music artist, but any artist that you want to work with, whether it be somebody that you want to like draw up a cover for you, or somebody that you want to like put a guitar, like maybe like a solo on your song. It's like we in a world where everybody is accessible, like I'm saying, digitally, and like I'm saying, like I can jump in your DM, you can jump in mine and go from that. But it's just like what I learned from like from working with him. It's just like for me, it's better if I at least reach out to the artist and try to like, saying, get up with them personally, like see what
Right.
type vibe, what type of wavelength we on, and see like what we can come up with. Because it's just like I feel like without that, those covers wouldn't have came out the way they came out. Because it's just like we had a chance to like talk, we had a chance to like kick it, and like great friends now. Like didn't really know too much before reaching out to them before the cover, but it's just like it's definitely like saying, like one of the closest homies I got, and it's just from that like you build different bonds. It becomes more than networking after that. Like you really like building from there because it's just like what I'm saying, networking is kind of like from a business standpoint, but it's just like I feel like as artists, like if we're gonna network. I feel like we need to network for like I would like for keeps, like so like definitely like if you find a certain act with a certain artist, like make sure you keep that artist like so like close, like make sure y'all stay in contact, stay cordial, because it's just like you never know what you can learn from them, and you never know what they can learn from you, type of situation. And that's definitely what I learned from that. Like anybody I want to reach out to and work with, try to like get to know them like on a personal level, at least as much as they'll let in, like type of
Right.
situation. Like just seeing like what would work best instead of just like, oh, I'm gonna sing you this song, da 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 da. It's just like I don't know. To me, it don't work like that.
It's more organic when you face to face. So you have that connection. It comes out more organic. It's more natural. It's not
Exactly.
forced. That's what I
Exactly.
learned. So let me ask you, okay? So we talked about the entertainment company. We talked about the new project. If you were working on a Richie Nelson project, what five producers would you pick to do Richie Nelson's album
The five producers today that I would pick,
of all times?
uh,
Any five, living, dead, all of all times.
any five. I'd wanna see what Quincy could cook up. Like that would be something smooth. Hmm, any five like, and I guess if I can work with anybody, I would have a limited amount of resources. So the homie Houston George, like so he's up and coming producer. Like his mind is like definitely going places. So if we had like everything at our disposal, like we definitely cook up something great. So there's Quincy, there's Houston. The homie Easy out there in 2-5, like, and I'm not naming like local people just because like they local, like these are
Right,
like I'm real picky, so like these are people that like I listen to like time and time again, and they always coming with like a sound that I can fuck with.
right.
Uh, let's see, Lil John, definitely, I definitely work with Lil John, and I think my my last one or last two, I definitely work with Kanye, and then lastly 40. Yeah, 40.
Wow, that's dope right there, yo. That's a solid lineup right there, bro. I'm not going to front. So since we talking about what if, what are five major cities that you would like to perform in that you haven't, and then tell me three cities that you performed in that you already did that you enjoyed the most.
Five major cities. I definitely I'd love a show in Vegas once outside open back up. I feel like Vegas would be pretty dope. I'd want a show out there in LA. A New York show, like so like something like yeah, definitely like yeah, that would definitely be a good look. Like I don't. like I like that's like I yeah, really need to put that on my list like of goals. Like I definitely want to get out there and perform in New York. What's that? Three. Um, a Miami show would be pretty dope.
Miami.
And mm, what? Hmm, I would say lastly a show in Toronto.
Toronto.
Uh, yeah, and I would say the cities that I really like that were really impactful. Denver was a pretty great show. Um, I would say it's always fun when I go out to Wilmington, and then there's Durham. Like this the energy in Durham is always crazy because it's just like the waves kind of just go between Raleigh and Durham. So it's just like whenever you're in
Right.
Raleigh, whenever you're in Durham, it's just like it's all love wherever you go. And that's even going all the way to Greensboro because I've had some incredible shows out there in Greensboro as well. So yeah,
That's
those are the
that's
definitely the
that's
cities.
dope right there. So, what's one of your most more memorable experiences in the game, and what's one thing that you learned that changed the way you move about the game and everything? What's one thing that changed the way you operate and do your business, and one thing along your career that was memorable that you remember that stood out the most?
I had a show in Greensboro. It was one of the Eddie Ruger shows, and uh, that's why I met Samson. And he was telling me like there were different like shows like in Raleigh. That's kind of like when I was making like starting to see like what different shows like different open mics were in Raleigh, and it was just like the first thing that came out of his mouth. He was like, "Yo, first thing you got to work on is like, bro, you got to take those back vocals out your songs because what I'm saying, like people trying to hear you rap. So it's just what I'm saying, take like those vocals out the verses, like maybe you can leave them in the hooks, but it's just like make sure you take those back vocals out." And it's just like ever since like anytime I've done a song or anytime like just moving forward, like majority of my shows, like you might hear the hook, but it's just like you won't hear the back vocal just because of that exchange, yeah, like that little tidbit that he gave me. Shout out to Samson for that.
That's dope right there, and that's important. I hear a lot of professionals say that back vocals is definitely not the move. Like once you get to, I've seen some, major artists do it, but when you're in arenas and coliseums, I rarely see artists perform with back vocals. So that was dope. That was a jewel he gave you, and I'm glad that you implemented it. And for artists that still using it, kind of break down the difference of how you can connect with the artist more without the back vocals, and you have the freedom to even change it up some versus it being the back vocals on the track.
Exactly. Like you know what I'm saying? You kind of got, like you said, the freedom to like maybe do it just a little bit different or maybe like the words come out a bit different. And it's just like with the back vocals, it almost feel like it's almost just like a sing along. And it's just like you can only put so much energy into it without trying to sing over the back vocals that are already there. And if you were going to sing that loud, you shouldn't have had the vocals on in the first place.
Right.
So it's just a different experience. Like now, I wouldn't say that back vocals are all bad because it's just like giving some venues it might even be better because like I know like sometimes like when performing in the club like it might be a bit hard to do the back vocals just because there's so many people like talking and all of that this that and the third. But it's just like just that's when it comes to like understanding the venue and understanding like what would be best to get your performance like out there to like make sure that like it's a good experience for whoever's watching.
That makes sense right there. That's the importance of the sound check and all that types of stuff. So it's like that's experience right there.
Lot stuff.
Definitely, definitely. So any jewels or any words of wisdom for any up and coming artists? Richie Nelson is sitting here. You got any words for them?
I mean, just don't be afraid to grow. Don't be afraid to try new things. Like, just keep an open mind. Like, don't get stuck into like I wouldn't even say stuck, but just even if it's comfortable, like it's alright to be it's alright to to find like a niche, to find like a little a thing that what you do. Like you might even call it a signature, but it's just like if you got the opportunity to learn, to build, to further your product, then do that. Whether that would be, adding a new skill, maybe you want to, say do some extra stuff, maybe do some comedy like within like maybe your performance and maybe your videos. Like don't be afraid to like build because it's all entertainment. So it's just like, how can you entertain the audience? Like, you don't got to be one dimensional. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to add extra dimensions.
Right, that makes sense right there. Have you ever performed with a band?
I did once. It was decent. It was a vibe. I don't think they didn't hear me as well as they could have, but it was kind of like on the spot. So I feel like, hey,
Okay.
we had a sound check that day because it was like I was just performing No Secret, and they kind of like just picked up on it. You know how they
Right.
do in church, like and
Right.
it kind of just went from there. But it's just like that was definitely an experience, and like that's something I'm definitely looking into in the future, like with different songs, like maybe like bringing a band on stage and
That'll
just
be dope.
different like vibe in that way. But really want to like open outside to open back up because you can only do so much with the limit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to break the rules, like you know what I'm saying, because I really just want this, you know what I'm saying, all of this to go away. But it's just like once outside open back up, like that's when you know what I'm saying, like there'll be a lot more options out there. But you know what I'm saying, like there are definitely options still.
Oh yeah,
Just looking into
definitely.
that.
That's a fact right there. And I was gonna ask you that. So how has the pandemic affected your career and what things did you have to switch around and how did you adapt to with everything
To
going on?
be honest, it was just more so about. I think this was really a good time to see like how active you can be like online, like because I know a lot of artists talk about like you can only do so much online. You know, so you really got to get out there and work. Like you got to get outside and put in footwork. But it's just like outside was closed, so it was just more so about like saying networking online, still pushing like your product. Like I think the name of the game, and there's something I'm still learning. Like the name of the game right now is like visuals, like for real. So it's just
Right.
like saying if you're always out there, either a new visual or a constant visual, like you always relevant. So it's just like that's really the tidbit right now. So like that was really what I picked up on. But honestly, like with this whole pandemic, I've actually made more connections than I have. Well, I wouldn't say more, but it's just like as far as like connecting and networking, that hasn't changed because it's just like good artists gravitate to each other anyway. So it's just like we're still kind of like in the same mode. Like if you're good, you kind of just float toward each other, and it's just networking. It goes from there. So it's just like as far as that, nothing has really changed. But it's all about switching up like the whole approach to things as far as like
Right.
how can you connect to the people.
That's true. And I agree. I think with the pandemic, for myself, it gave me a chance to get more organized and more focused. So certain things that I was doing, it forced me to switch my game to come out my box. And now when outside opens, now I can do both. So it's kind of like fighting both handed. You're ambidextrous now. You know how to work it online and you already know how to work it outside. Where before I was more focused on the outside. Like the internet is like, all right, I post my posts and stuff like that. But being that you can't be outside, it forced me to get into marketing. It wound up, services that they have, data analytics and stuff like that. So without it
Exactly.
closing, I would have never learned that part of the business as far
Right.
as promotion and getting the music overseas and different places connecting with the artists. So I think when it opens back up, it'll make us all more well-rounded artists altogether.
Right. And I mean that just all depends if you learned or not. You got some people that's still stuck in ways like man the internet don't really tell you what kind of following you got, and it's just like well right now it kind of do because it's just like you can't really do no shows like
Right.
so how are you gonna generate your revenue now type of
Right.
situation. So it's just like you gotta adapt.
Right. That's a fact right there. So do you have merch and stuff like that? Like
The merch is definitely on the way. I actually I wanted to take a different approach, because anybody can, like put like a name or logo on a shirt, which is nothing wrong with that, because that's definitely your product and your merch. But I kind of wanted to I'm taking it like a different step as far as
right.
like the merch. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to give out too much, but it's just like that'll definitely like it got it set to come out like this coming fall, like with the t-shirts, long sleeve, sweaters, hoodie, all of that. You'll definitely see that along the way sometime soon.
Okay, that's dope. And with the type of music you make, have you ever thought about like licensing and trying to get it on movies and games and stuff like that? Is that something you ever thought about before?
To be honest, I haven't given it a lot of thought, but it's just like that's definitely something to think about.
Right.
To be honest, it never really crossed my mind because it's just I don't know. That's just something like I guess I wouldn't say like I just lack the knowledge to like what I'm saying like those steps. So like that would just be something to like grow upon. So what I'm saying like even like I said, just sitting here just giving me something else to think about, somewhere else to explore. So like, yeah, definitely something to think about.
Right, because you got the major films, then you also have indie films and even web series. I see a lot of times on these web series, they use a
Mhm.
lot of artists, but with the licensing, it's kind of like the same way with the streams, but you get more money for it being on the web series. So that's something that another avenue to think about as well.
Mm, definitely, definitely.
Yeah, so you on all platforms, Richie Nelson. What can we expect in the next year? And then what's your 5-year goal for your music, Richie Nelson, in the one firstborn entertainment?
Right. So, and within the next year, you're definitely going to see Pain versus Scar, and you're probably going to see a third Pain installment.
Okay.
In the writing process of that now. Within the next 5 years, I I would expect Firstborn to have at least three artists, and I kind of got my eye on like at least one of them, but I just
Okay.
want to see what goes along the way. But you never know. I could still be out there within 5 years. Or like I said, I might take a step back, make like a songwriting approach, or maybe just kind of just stay behind the scenes. It's just with the love I got for music, I'm good either way. Because I was never really. I mean, I could be in the spotlight, but it's just like I don't have to be. Some people like crave that type of attention. It's just like for me, I'm just out there expressing myself, and it's just y'all just so happen to fuck with it. But if y'all didn't fuck with it, it would be the same way. So it's just like next 5 years, it could definitely go either way. But as far as like the business type of things, I definitely got an idea and a set plan in mind.
Dope. That's dope right there. So for the people out there that may have just tuned in, what can they expect from you and anything that might have missed so far in the interview? Go ahead and break that down, Richie Nelson, what you got going on, where they can find your music. I know you say you got the project with Ty Harris coming, coming out. And then anything that I may have missed that you want to drop right now. Now
For
would be the time.
everybody just tuning in, it's the homie Richie Nelson. I could be found at Rich Nelson 2K. You could Google that. That's Twitter. That's Instagram. That's even the SoundCloud. Go peep my latest single, Classy. Go peep my latest projects, Reminisce, To Whom It May Concern. And go peep the earlier projects, Empty Nights on 440 and Pain. Uh, Definitely follow me on all platforms to get the updates. And Pain versus Guards on the way. Pain 3 is on the way. A whole lot of other stuff is on the way. Just keep it locked.
That's dope. That's dope right there, yo. And I ain't gonna hold you so long because it's been about an hour. I don't want to hold you too much, but I want to let you know whenever y'all finish y'all project, and you're always welcome to come back up here on here and
Most
SDS
definitely.
Radio. We put the audio on SDS Radio as well. So when the songs come, if you got a single, hit me up and I throw it on the end. It's an internet radio station, but definitely put it up there as well. But I
Oh, most
salute you,
definitely.
man, and I thank you for
Appreciate
coming
you.
through. Yo, it was a dope interview. You know what I mean? To anybody out there, any last words, any shout outs you want to give, or like I said, anything we might have missed, gonna plug that now. This is the homie Richie Nelson. The proof is in the pudding show. I'm the host, Scion919. I'm gonna give it to him, and after he's done, we're gonna sign out. I love all y'all for watching. Peace.
Oh man. Before I go, big shouts out to the hometown. Big shouts out to Caswell, Yanceyville. Big shouts out to Trackstar Rich. I ain't forget you on that producer list. What I'm saying? Big shouts out to the artists that I'm saying definitely have like different vibes are inspiring, like the None After Hours, Exhale, Juice Lord, all of those. Like, I'm saying? Definitely shout out to Freedom. Shout out to the whole family, Icy, Corniers, what I'm saying? Mayday, Lala, Ring, what I'm saying? All of those folks, like, what I'm saying? And shout out to the people that have been tuning in since day one, since, what I'm saying? Like maybe like 2 or 3 names ago, like when I was just starting out trying to push out little mixtapes out the back seat, like, what I'm saying? Y'all still here, still tuned in. I really appreciate y'all, if not more than anybody.
That's dope. That's dope, yo. So, you want to throw into another joint? You want to bring back? You want to bring back No Secret or Pain, or we just gonna sign out? How you want to do it, yo? Is the
Uh,
Richie Nelson is the Richie Nelson show right now, yo? We doing it.
you know what? We could, how about let's play how about we play that, let's play that Better Safe and we can end it on that. That's doing a good amount of numbers on the UK. So yeah,
Better
play
off
that Better
safe.
Safe. Better Safe. That's what it's called. Just one
Better
word.
safe.
Better Safe.
It's on the
Yeah.
YouTube or Spotify.
Both.
All right, better safe. You can tell them who produced that and all that while I'm pulling it up. So we ain't just sitting here in the quiet spot. Better safe. Boom. First one to pull it up.
Oh yeah, better safe. I can't call the producer's name right now, but I definitely left that in the song, so he's definitely gonna say it. But yeah, like I said, definitely this one getting I wouldn't even say surprise, and it's just like I was like, okay, like they overseas fucking with it. That's what's up. So yeah, big shouts out to over there. Like I saw it on a little Fortnite playlist. I was like, oh, that's pretty
Oh
dope.
wow.
Right. I was
So
like, okay.
that's definitely dope right there.
Oh
That's
yeah.
definitely dope. We pulling it up now. Here we go. Boom. That's better safe. And you said it's getting major spin in the UK?
Yeah, it's just I was like, oh man, like let me find out. I need to take a little plane over there and see what type of money out there that I can come convert real quick.
Bro, you never know, man. I'm telling you, it's like, yo, that international, they really connoisseurs of good music, bro. Like you'd be surprised. Japan as well, China, Japan, all those types of spots. So it's like the sound and the music that you make, it would definitely hit. Even Africa, oh, you would be surprised. Certain places that we wouldn't think over here that love hip hop and they love that, that blend of that good music. Yo, I call it music of substance. I just call it good music. Yo, I don't put a genre on it. If it sounds good, it feels good. It's good music. So,
I like
bro,
how you
keep
put that
pushing that.
music of substance. That's what's up.
That's a fact right there, bro. So we're gonna sign off with Better Safe, bro. Definitely tap into that overseas market, bro. Better Safe, Richie Nelson, y'all. Thanks for everybody for tuning in, and we up out of here.
Thanks for having me.
No doubt. Anytime, brother. Anytime. Here we go. All right.
This world shall know pain.
Yeah. If you try to cross us, then how it end up is a toss up. Way too many nights where I lost one. Big Deuce, what you cooking, nigga? My life private, I move in silence, smoking exotic. And my shorty looking like she from the islands. Niggas want verses, but I need deposits. I got him nervous, like what is he plotting? When is he dropping? On side no secret, he really been quiet, like what is he doing? Cross my T's, then I dot my I's. Niggas couldn't keep it solid with me, so I had to cut along a dotted line. My mind in paces, I piece it together for peace of mind. If you weren't with me when I cooked it up, what I look like giving you a piece of mind. As quick as they turn over that pillow, fold it up to switch sides. They let it hit you with the change up. When it's 2 outs, bottom of the knife. But I peep the vibe, I ride the wave. And keep in mind of that coming tide. I just stay in my lane and I read every sign. James's oldest, fucking coldest. I just wish he got to see his sunshine. I ain't stopping till it's sunset. I ain't even up yet. I'm still pulling upsets. I got a couple vets upset. Couple buses got backed in. Tried to play me but played you. Now you a has-been like that quick. No pun intended. Should've never let me get it. Now I'm running funny. I don't funny. Guys ain't never funny. When you around them, they be quiet. They don't really want no smoke. They just want us out of mode. Back up on it, on up, roll. But niggas acting iffy if it let them go. They don't really want no smoke. They just want us out of mode. Back up on it, on up, roll. But niggas acting iffy if it let them go. If you try to cross us, then how it end up is a toss up. Way too many nights where I lost one. I might have to lay you down as a precaution. Better safe than sorry. Most of y'all sorry. Yeah, I said it, not sorry. Just came back. And y'all not it. Take that up with Mari. I'm too sick. And they can't tell what it is. Omar or Hugh Laurie. All she do is smoke into the her aunties. You can keep that shorty. Niggas tryna rap at 40. I need that back by 40. I'm from another dimension, I put over Rick and Morty. In the DeLorean, got it from Doc and Marty. To kill it before you started. Let me get a look at your heart. You look like you want no parts, little bitch. They don't really want no smoke. They just want us out of mode. Back up on it, on a roll. But niggas acting iffy if and let them go. They don't really want no smoke. They just want us out of mode. Back up on it, on a roll. But niggas acting iffy if and let them go. If you try to cross us, then how it end up is a toss up. Way too many nights when I lost one. I might have to lay down and some precaution. Better safe than sorry. Better safe than sorry. Better safe than sorry. See, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just can't. I take that up and Mari. I'm too sick. Can't tell what it is. Yeah.